Oh, what a difference a couple of midfielders makes to QPR. Welcome back to Where Rangers Walk. We're going to review the Sheffield United result, and we're also going to look ahead to the visit of Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle. Welcome to Where Rangers Walk. Well, at half-time, Jawad, you must have been thinking this season is going to be very, very long. We'll get to that game in a second. Welcome, Michael. Welcome, Charlie. And welcome everyone back to Where Rangers Walk. This is the quickest, fastest, comprehensive review of QPR on the internet. Please do drop us a like below if you haven't yet done already. We're looking for 25. That's our target for this week. We've got lots to get into, so we're going to jump straight into it. With you, Jawad, if that's okay. All right, what were you thinking at halftime? Be honest.
I think after 13 minutes, I think everybody feared the worst. I think after the performance last Saturday, the cup performance, especially second half, and then that opening 15 minutes, I think, it wasn't looking good. And I personally didn't see a way back from it, but they obviously proved us all wrong. So, yeah,
I
wasn't a great start.
I was surprised to hear, Michael, that Dembele said we all came in at halftime, we all spoke, got everything off our chest, and got the reaction that we demanded. It seems like Marty allowed them all to kind of just say what they all felt, just dump it all, and crikey, the second half, they didn't half work. So it wasn't a case of what Marty said; it was what he allowed, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, it must have been like I felt like he got every decision right in the second half. The substitutions he made, and when Smith came on, I felt like he changed the game. It allowed Dembele to go in a more central role, where he looked really good, and obviously Sato coming on was just changed the game as well. So really good to be fair.
Yeah, I was going to ask about your debuts, Charlie. Were you impressed with your new players?
I was very impressed. Especially considering that it looks like Ilias Chair is going to be away for a little bit longer, which is a bit disappointing. But good to see we've got the replacements.
Yeah, Jared, who else impressed for you in that second half? And we'll get to the sending off in a minute. Because I'm sure you'll have a few things to say about that.
I think the decision to bring Cole back on at half time had a big impact on the game. Actually, Varane struggled first half massively. The Sheffield United's goals, both of them, you can look at him and you can point the finger. And I think Marty alluded to it after the game that he got that decision wrong. Basically, Colback should have started. So yeah, he did well up until his red card. The centre back pairing again. We'll talk about them later, but I can't think of many centre backs that I would swap for Cook and Clark. Salter.
Yeah, we had a bit of a go at Jimmy Dunn last week, didn't we? But I'm guessing we should apologise, Michael, to him, or I should apologise to him, because I think it's his worst game against West Brom, didn't he?
Well, he did, but I feel like he did the right thing coming out on Saturday, and he looked as confident as he did at the back end of the last season. I mean, he was pulling off some skills, getting around players. Defensively, he was solid, and obviously he does what he does best, and wins those headers at the near post. So played well.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about the red card then. You'll see the words liability on many social media posts, some of which we'll look at in a second. Charlie, what was your view of the sending off?
Well, I was very confused at first from the stands because obviously I had no idea what was going on. I mean, it was very weird because, I mean, he was nowhere near the ball. He was like he was standing, I think, at the centre circle, and we had it must have been like a throw on or a corner. So the ref was nowhere near him. So I mean, it was very odd, but I mean, he must have mouthed off. I mean, it's what Jack Colback does. He's very, susceptible to a yellow card here and there. It's just stupid, very stupid.
In what way did it change the game, Joe? I don't know. It's a stupid question to ask because it means that you are from being in a position of being on top. Do you think you could have gone on and got 3 points had that not happened?
I think considering how late Dykes scored, I'm not sure it had too much impact on the game. I think we were in the ascendancy anyway. Sheffield United struggled to get any control even after the red card. So I don't think it had too much impact on the game. But I think with Cole back, I think it's just part of his game that you have to accept. I think that's just how he's been for his whole career. He's 33 now. He's never going to change, is he? So I think we can talk about him being a liability, and I said he has to learn. I don't think he's ever going to learn, and I think it's something that you just have to accept that he's going to pick up 10, 12 bookings a season.
Yeah, something tells me it's not going to be his first suspension we talk about on this channel. Okay, Michael, just finally on this one, Sheffield United have been tipped for the top, certainly playoffs. Did you see much in them yourself to suggest that they're going to be a top team, or do you think actually from what you saw you were by far the better team overall?
I think in the first 15 minutes, I mean, they looked like they was going to score 5 or 6. But if they get rid of a few of their players, I think Hamer is like rumoured to be going to the Premier League or going to another league in Europe. And I felt like he was by far the best player on the pitch on Saturday, at least for the first half.
Okay. All right. Here's some takes from the game, and let's see what your views on these ones are. Charlie, you've already commented on this one. So Rich says, great debuts for Dembele and Sato. Hopefully Varane and Salah will quickly adapt to the pace of the Championship. And there's a few commenting on Varane. I think Joe's already mentioned it. Why hasn't Varane took to the pace of life in the Championship as quickly as perhaps others have, do you think?
Well, I think the physicality of it maybe could be an aspect, because I think he came from the Spanish second division, which I mean I assume is more technical. It's in Spain, so I think that's an aspect, and it really looks like the pace of it. It always looks like he's sort of one step behind everyone, and he just looks a bit lost. I don't know. It's slightly concerning. I think we lack some depth in midfield.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about Salah next week. Mark House has been on, Jawad, who I only learnt this week as a QPR fan. He said, fully deserved second half performance. The Colbeck's a liability. Who knows, with 11 men, we could have taken all 3 points. There was a lot of people calling out Colbeck online, but you seem to be more sympathetic. Explain why.
I think when you hear Marty explain what happened, he was protesting that a Sheffield United player who had been booked was arguing that a QPR player should have been booked and did the whole yellow card gesture. So he kind of was trying to make a point that if you have those rules, you have to stand by them. And I think he mouthed off to the fourth official who told the referee. So like I said, I think we just have to accept that that's the way that he is, and we're going to miss him for 3, 4, 5 games a season through stupidity, and he's never going to change.
Okay. Finally, Michael, Rob says, we'll take that all day long. We are a number 8 away, left back and forward away from being competitive. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree. I think Kenneth Powell defensively needs some work. I mean, I know we're rumoured with Beck from Liverpool, but also I think Isaac Hayden. I mean, if there's a way we can get him out of Newcastle, I would definitely have him as a backup, or even start probably ahead of Varane just whilst he's adapting. But yeah, I think with that, if we get those signings, I think we could be quite a dangerous side.
I completely agree that I think we'd be playing League One football if we hadn't signed Hayden when we did last season. I think he was the most important player in that team, and I think it's the one that probably Marty was hoping to avoid using up his budget on him and letting Varane play. But I think with Colbeck suspended, and him and Field do pick up lots of bookings. I think looking at it now, I think that's the one position that he would probably see as key.
Definitely.
We've got our Plymouth fan standing by in the wings, ready to preview the next game. Before we do, let's have a quick look at where your central defenders currently are at. Now, there may be some missing from here, but this is what transfermarket.com had. Charlie, are you all done in terms of shopping in this particular area? Do you think you've got enough for another 44 game season to be strong in this area?
Well, I think we are. I think we are done shopping. Does that mean we don't necessarily need another one? I'm not so sure, because I mean, looking at it, I mean, Jimmy Dunn, he's played right back for us, so you know that he's not really. So looking at that, it seems we only have 3 centre backs, which is slightly worrying, especially considering Jake Clark-Salter has a history with injuries, and also I think he's a lot of clubs have been interested in him. I think Coventry are looking to sign him back. So, I in terms of are we going to get another centre back? I don't think so, but should we? Maybe. I don't know. We did sign Liam Morrison, and I think he looked quite good against when he played against Cambridge. So,
okay, Michael, would you get one more in just to be on the safe side?
I mean, I would. I mean, Jimmy Dunn, I have confidence they can slot in at centre back if Reggie Cannon sorts out this court case he's going through or something like that to do with his last club. But if we're not very adaptable, so if we wanted to change to a back three, I worry that it sort of bringing in that extra centre back will allow us to do that, and it would allow us to change the game more. Yeah.
Okay. All right then. Wayne Rooney's in town this weekend. Be sure to give him a massive, massive welcome. Here's our Plymouth fan to discuss more. Welcome, Jayden, to where Rangers walk. Very good of you to join us. Are you getting used to life under Mr. Rooney?
Yeah, it was difficult at first. The first couple of games, it weren't very good. To be honest, the first 3 halves at least, and then obviously that 4th half came against Cheltenham, the second half of that game, and it was completely different. 3 goals scored, a lot of promising second half performances, and we were on our way. And then nothing changed. It was more positive stuff and more better performance. Sorry.
That's all right. When we asked these 3 of who's going down this season, all 3 were very quick to mention Plymouth's name. Are you happy coming as the underdogs to places like QPR when no one's got any expectations on you other than to lose? Does that suit you and your players' mindset, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. We've always been little old Argyle. So that's just nothing new, really. And yeah, we'll carry that, and we'll use that in our favour. Especially Wayne Rooney. He's always obviously been doubted as a manager. So yeah, that will suit him down to the ground.
Your last away game didn't go so well up at Hillsborough. This one is going to obviously make some changes. Are we going to see Morgan Whittaker? Because the rumours are that potentially he could be dropped. He hasn't started the season well. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm not sure. I don't think anyone knows until that starting 11 comes out whether he'll start or not, to be honest. But yeah, I think he could get dropped. There's been some better performance, 100%, but it's just whether you take that gamble, that risk to drop him when he was our best player last season. So yeah, that's the risk you take.
Jared, I'm sure you'll be pleased to hear the fact that Whittaker may be on the bench, given that he's Plymouth's most dangerous player last season. Where do you rate them in terms of Championship survival? Do you have them rock bottom yourself?
It's hard to say, really, at this stage. I think after the first game of the season, I think everybody would have been like, "Yeah, we were right. They're gonna struggle." But the performance against Hull was huge improvements, wasn't it? And I think they've got that fan base. The atmosphere is always good at home park. The away fans travel really well in numbers. So I think maybe if they can, before the international break, pick up a win somewhere, I think they might surprise a few people.
Mm-hmm. Michael, do you see anything other than a home win this weekend?
I mean, it'll be tough, but I do feel like if we don't get 3 points on Saturday, I'll be worried about our season going forward. I feel like the way we played the second half against Sheffield United, if we come out like that, I can't see anything else than us just winning.
Okay, let's get some score predictions then. Charlie, you're at home, so you can take this one.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go the complete opposite direction of what Michael said. I think Plymouth are going to win. I'm going to say 1-0 Plymouth. There's a lot of factors to it. I think it's the very QPR thing to do in terms of, coming from behind against all odds against Sheffield United to then losing at home to the nailed-on relegation favourites. I also think, Wayne Rooney's getting more of a tune out of that squad as we've discussed. So I'm kind of worried. So yeah, I think we're going to lose. I don't know, bad feeling.
Okay, then Jayden, settle the score. One says you'll win, one says you'll lose.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie. I think we're going to win 1-0, hopefully. But I'm an optimistic man, and we never fail to disappoint. So,
all right. Well, listen. This fixture has ended 1-1. More than was a scoreline more than any other. I think half of the last 10 games have finished 1-1. So that's what I'm sticking with. Thank you very much, Jayden. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy your trip to Loftus Road. We'll catch up with you again shortly. Thank you so much. And before we finish on my Rangers walk, of course, we'd ask you to start the most celebrated pairing of QPR central defenders of all time. Let's go round the clock for the answer to that. Michael, you kick us off.
It's a tough one, but I would say in terms of individual ability, captain. I mean, I know he played left back a lot of the time, but Clint Hill at centre back, he did a job, and he was like QPR through and through. And then it's tough. It's tough really because I feel like since I've been watching us, we haven't had that amazing centre back partnership. But I don't know. I do like Steve Cook, and I think he'll come good this season as well.
Charlie.
Well, I have to admit my QPR history isn't that good. I mean, I only started watching them like 10 years ago. So I think Nedemanua, I think, was quite good. He was a good servant to the club. He was captain as well. He was always reliable. But in recent years, I think our best centre back, it's probably been, I'd say, Clark Salter. I'd say he's been the best in recent years.
Fair enough. Right, Joe, had lots of pressure on this. Your dad will be making sure you give the right answer. Yeah. What is the right answer?
I'm going to go Rio Ferdinand. No, I'm only joking, not really. I'm going to go Alan McDonald and Danny Maddox. That was like early 90s. They were both outstanding players. Danny Maddox was the best man-to-man marker I've ever seen, I think, at QPR. And Alan McDonald was just, again, the best captain I've ever seen. So I'm a little bit older than Michael and Charlie, so I can go back a little bit further. But those two, I think most fans of my age, I think those two would be the choice as well.
All right. If you in the comments can beat any of those, I mean, Paul Barker's not been mentioned. I'm sure someone's going to scream Fenwick and Paul Barker. Comment below. Thank you very much for joining us, you three. Enjoy the game against Plymouth, and we'll catch you all next week. Cheers for joining us.